So in this video, I want to share briefly about how somebody, say your partner, can use their childhood trauma as a weapon and manipulate you, and keep you in a cycle of abuse, of toxicity, where they are constantly abusing you, but you are too distracted to recognize that they are actually abusing you, and that's because you're busy focusing on their childhood experiences that they have shared with you. So as you focus on that, you only see their pain, their struggles, but you don't realize that they are not doing anything to become better. Instead, they are hurting you, they are being mean to you, they are doing unpleasant things to you, and expecting you to keep excusing their wrongdoings. Now, childhood trauma, it happens to a lot of people. I mean, if you're from Nigeria, somehow I believe you've dealt with childhood trauma, maybe at home, school, church, or anywhere. So it's not something that anybody should use as an excuse for wrong behavior, because the important distinction to make is that childhood trauma can be an explanation, but it does not excuse you. It is not an excuse for bad behavior. Now, if someone wants to manipulate you or emotionally blackmail you, they can tell you their stories. You see, when we encourage people, open up, talk about where you're coming from, talk about your experiences, there are those who use it as a weapon. So you may be with a partner who is quick to tell you where they're coming from. But here is the thing, why are they telling you that? What's the motive behind that disclosure? Why are they telling you about their childhood experiences, about the pains, about the unpleasant experiences, the adverse childhood experiences? Why are they sharing that with you? That's the most important thing. Now, if someone wants to abuse you, they can tell you about their experiences so that they can elicit empathy from you. Of course, empathy is something that we should have towards people generally. But when you love somebody and you care about somebody, there is an extra urge to want to empathize with them, to want to identify with their struggles, and it's valid. The issue is that it can be weaponized. If you're not paying attention, it can be weaponized against you. So somebody tells you, my dad did this to me, my mom did this to me, my elder brother did this to me, my elder sister did this to me, and all of that. Okay, they've told you all that, but what are they doing? You see, when they want to manipulate you, they tell you all these things, and then you start feeling empathy for them. They dump that whole story on you, and then you start feeling so sorry for them. You start being empathetic. And when this is happening, they are not improving themselves. They are not trying to become better people. They are not taking any steps to improve their behavior. But they've dumped all that on you. And when they've dumped all that on you, they expect something in return. They expect you to excuse their bad behavior. So when they do something wrong to you, if they are unfair, if they are mean to you, they expect you to excuse it. They expect you to not hold them accountable. They expect you to not expect some form of responsibility from them. So, oh, it's because of my childhood trauma. It's because of what my dad did to me. It's because of my mom. That's why I'm doing this to you. That's why I'm being mean to you. That's why I'm being so wicked. That's why I'm treating you in this manner. Is what I'm used to. I'm sorry. However, beyond that, what are they doing? And then when you feel like you're becoming overwhelmed and you're fed up with that behavior, you say, okay, you want to hold them responsible for the way they are behaving. Then they start telling you, oh, you're not patient with me. You know my story. I've told you my story. Despite everything I've told you, you are doing this to me. You know my experiences. You know I never had a pleasant experience in life. All right? Okay? Now, they are blackmailing you with the story they've told you. So because you know their story, they don't expect you to hold them accountable. They expect to keep excusing them, to keep letting them off the hook, in any way for anything that they have done to you or the ways that they have behaved. But do you know that when you try to do something to them, if you try to say not be fair to them, they pick it up immediately. They immediately point it out to you and say, you didn't do this, you didn't do that. And so they know how to demand, but they don't know how to give. So like they want the rights, they want the privileges, but they are not interested in, their own obligations towards you. And in a relationship, obligations are mutual. You can't just be obligated to do stuff for a partner and your partner isn't. You do for your partner and your partner does for you too. But when somebody is manipulating you with their childhood abuse and childhood neglect, childhood emotional neglect, and all the unpleasant things that happened to them in their childhood, they just want to benefit, but they are not going to give, and they are not taking any step to become better people. And when you decide that you're fed up, then they start blackmailing you, start reminding you how they've told you all manner of stuff, and despite everything they've told you, you want to abandon them, you want to leave them, you want to be like every other person that has left them. But people are leaving them because they are not working on themselves. And there's nobody that's going to put up with such toxicity for a long time, especially if you have regard and respect for your mental health. You're not going to want to do that. But they are going to want to keep you. They want you to live there, but they are not going to improve. They are not going to become better people. So they use their experience as a weapon. They're always quick to share it. So when they share it, it's like they are laying a foundation of how the relationship is going to look like. So they share it, and then once they've shared it, you are expected to treat them based on where they are coming from. But the truth is this: if someone, your partner, shares their childhood experiences with you, it is not for you to start excusing their bad behavior. Trauma is never a justification for bad behavior or an excuse. It is an explanation. It is only valid as an explanation. You can't explain that, okay, I have this trauma response of flight, I have this trauma response of picking fights, and it's because of where I'm coming from. But that's an explanation. It is not an excuse, which means that you have a responsibility to do something about your trauma. You're not going to go about hurting people and excusing it because of your trauma. So you have a responsibility to do something about it. If this partner is only telling you because they just want you to allow them to treat you in any way they want, That's abuse. They are only laying a foundation for them to be able to abuse you and get away with it, and even blame you for the way they are treating you. So now, how do you know how to deal with this sort of person? Fine. What you do is you pay attention beyond them telling you about these experiences. What are they doing? What steps are they taking? Because if someone tells you these things, the goal, or rather the valid goal for it, is for you to understand where they are coming from, understand their journey, understand what they've been through, so that you know the ways that you can contribute to their healing. And I use the word contribute because you're not going to be the one healing them. That is not your responsibility. Your job is to contribute to that, to help them in the ways that you can, make suggestions. So are they in therapy? Are they reading self-help books? Are they going for seminars and webinars and all these programs that people attend to learn better ways of becoming a decent human being? What are they doing? This is the question. When you suggest books to them, do they want to read those books? From 1 month to another, are there steps that they take to improve themselves? These are the questions you need to ask yourself. If they are not doing these things, then they are not improving. They do not want to, take responsibility for their healing. They just want you to be a willing recipient of whatever they have to throw at you. So as long as you're there, they are going to just be behaving the ways that they want, and they want you to just be okay with it and do not say anything. Just accept them the way they are. And then they're going to tell you, I just want someone to love me the way I am. All right. You want someone to love you the way you are. You want someone to love you with all the toxicity that you're bringing, and you're not willing to improve. Now, ask yourself this question. They want you to love them the way they are, but here is the thing. Try to be like them for once. Try to treat them the way they are treating you, and see how much acceptance they are going to give to you. They see you as a safe space for them because you're putting up with their behavior, no question. So it's okay for them. But if you were to reciprocate the same behavior that you're getting from them, you'll see how fast, how quickly they want to throw you out of their lives. Because at that point, it becomes uncomfortable for them, because that's not the environment or the setting that they want. They want where they can relax and just be cool, but not change their negative behavior. So you ask yourself, what are they doing? What steps are they taking to become better people? If they are not doing anything, if your partner is not doing anything, if he's not willing to, say, go to therapy or see a professional, just want to be that way and keep telling you that I am like this because of my trauma. I am like this because of my trauma. My trauma is why I'm like this. My trauma is why I'm abusing you. Right? Then you have to know that you are being abused. You're in an abusive setting. And they're abusing you by weaponizing your empathy against you. Your empathy is not something that you should allow to be weaponized against you. So you need to pay attention. Most times we develop these blind spots because we care, we love, we want to hope for the best. But you need to know that the more you stay with this person, they are also harming you. They are hurting you. They are changing and altering the person that you are at your core. So you have to decide to put an end to it as soon as possible. Understand that if they are not doing anything to improve, then they are not meant to be in your life. I believe that maybe you can be with somebody who has issues if they are working on their issues. If they are not, then you're in a very bad place. Don't allow yourself to become a tool for manipulation, just there, and they're just using you to practice their manipulation skills. Don't be there. That's not an ideal relationship. As no matter how much you say you love somebody or you really care about them, you are not supposed to be in a relationship where you have to be emotionally responsible for them to the point where you keep excusing their behavior, you keep letting them off the hook, and you are not realizing that they are abusing you. You need to apply this knowledge. Look into your relationship, do some reflection, and ask yourself, am I being abused? Why did this person tell me about this? Because I know a lot of women who are in marriages where the men are emotionally unavailable, and the men are saying it's because someone broke my heart, it's because my mother did this, because my father did this to me. They are emotionally unavailable, and they are harming you, and they are unwilling to seek help. They just want you to be there and put up with all that. You have your own trauma that you've probably worked on or you are still working on. You are taking responsibility for your life. So you're not going to allow someone else to put you in that place where you have to deal with your own issues and also deal with his or her own issues. Allow them to deal with their issues. Tell them to do something about their trauma. And stop allowing people to use their trauma as an excuse to treat you wrongly. It is never an excuse. And there is always a responsibility that we have to resolve our conflicts and traumas.